Hey, what's up, guys? It's Shawn Greenway once again with my business spotlight of the week. I got an incredible guest today, Mr. Paulson Thomas from High Level. He's the director of business development. He's actually worked with now 3 companies, agency brands to build them up. So, what's going on, Paulson?
Hey, thanks for having me, Shawn. I was just saying this earlier, on time with prime time.
Come on, we
That's
love
my
it. We
that's
love it.
my motto of the day.
Oh, there you go. I love it. Thanks for being on the show.
Yep.
I met you finally face to face out in the Saspreneur a couple months ago. Awesome to see the whole crew. So take just a second. I know a lot of people know you, but some don't. Take
Yeah.
just a second and tell us a little bit about your background now that you've got 3 brands that you've actually helped out and kind of bring
Yeah.
us up to the present moment.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Shawn, thanks for having me. I have a lot of respect for you and Javi and the rest of the crew that you have. You guys are doing incredible work in the marketplace and what you guys are doing in your own industries and everything. So congrats to your
Thank you.
success. I know a lot of people have learned so much from you and more. And, I know you're going to serve a lot of people in a great way. My background, immigrant family, Christian family household, dad was a pastor. Mom was a creative arts teacher, combined it all together with all their, creative and presentation tendencies and turned me into a marketer and a consultant over time. My very first career was in radiology sciences. So I was in the medical profession. I had my own medical license and everything. And pretty soon I burnt out of the corporate glass door and I told my wife and pissed her off and said, hey, I'm gonna jump into this whole entrepreneur thing and I'm gonna have some clients like next week, just like I see all those, ads on Facebook. And I started buying all these courses, thought it was gonna be easy. And I'll be honest with you, Shawn, I struggled the first 2 years to make ends meet. And when people talk about their journey, they don't talk about the ugly stuff. And if you're okay with it, I want to share the ugly stuff
Let's do it.
because that's what matters and what actually grew me as a person. The first agency that I launched, and this is around 2014, I would say. I don't even want to say agency. I was freelancing my way through,
Yeah.
calling myself an agency after slapping on an LLC, right? But it was just me, few virtual assistants and things like that. But at the end of the day, the first thing I did was learn the skill of Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, all these different things. And I learned that myself that I'm more of a sales business development type of guy. And I struggled my way through in the technology component. But pretty soon I realized I needed to have a partner or someone else that can do a lot of the fulfillment. And around 2000, end of 2014, 15, I went all in on dentistry. That was my very first agency, turned it into a very white glove, high ticket agency, charging almost $5,000 a package. And then in 2018, I partnered up with Robin Alex, one of the co-founders of High Level. And he said, hey, come on board with me to, scale this agency. And I did. And I put my agency to the side and I jumped in with him. And right when we started, it was right around like 32 something clients around the time when I came on board. And we scaled that essentially a white label agency all the way to almost 800 plus clients.
Wow.
Now, the third agency I had is in automotive, and that's with a different business partner out of Toronto. And I also struggled in automotive because I'm more of a suit and tie guy. I mean, Shawn, you've met me in person. Typically a little more, a bit more clean cut. I had a hard time with the blue collar crowd, but my business partner thrived really well in that space, so we kind of survived. But I had a hard time in sales. Well, in dentistry, I was knocking it out of the park because with that crowd, I resonated very well. It was easy for me to get along with them. They understood me. And then 2021, I had to let go of the automotive agency. That matter of fact, all of our agencies, because of High Level and our interest there, to make sure we're not competing with our own customer base by having agencies. So all of us shut down all of our interests when it comes to marketing services and things like that. And we're all going all in on High Level, obviously. So that's my, 3-minute background story of where I came from, where I'm at, and where I'm going.
Man, I love it. I love it. I'd love to hear the background stories. You and I are very similar and a lot alike because I'm basically the business development director here at Lead Dragon,
Yeah.
affiliate manager. I try to take care of the sales and business side and development here with everything. And then Javier is I'm the visionary. He's the integrator, from the
Yeah.
book, was it jet fuel or whatever it is, or rocket fuel,
Yeah.
visionary integrator. And Javier is definitely an incredible integrator.
Yeah.
And we've got a very small team. So we're not like we've got 20 or 30 people over here, maybe one day, but I would rather keep it lean. Having a SaaS, you can keep it lean. We would have never have dreamed that we could start a software business with.
Yeah. What an incredible run you guys have had. It's amazing to see. I mean, it's
I
crazy.
appreciate that. We really, before we just got on here, we realized that just a couple of months ago, it's really been our first full year of this SaaS. So most already know the story. I'll tell the short version. November 2019, we found High Level, got in, used it for fulfillment with our marketing agency, didn't realize what we had. I woke up about January of 2021 and was like, oh my goodness, we got a rocket under us. So within a few months, we started developing our name, colors, concepts, all those things. Started trying to make some offers. We put like 3 people on a beta. We call it a free version for feedback, testimonials, trying to learn what could we even do with it, right? Finally got our first client. A true client, I think it was because they had went to High Level and found us on like the partner page I used to have. You may still have one, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he called us up 2 weeks later. He said, I got a couple of people I want you to talk to. I was like, yeah, no problem. A month later, the story goes, I woke up, I was like, oh my goodness, we've signed up 10 people.
Yeah.
What's up? And then so having a kind of a little bit of a niche in the beginning to run with helped. We do kind of go broad, but probably 60-70% of our people are in a certain niche. So we kind of run with that. I just got honored to go speak at a conference coming up next month, which I'm honored to do that. So that's going to be a good big leap for us, have a booth, do the whole thing. So it's been tough though, like you said. I like to share in the struggles as well.
Yeah.
Here we are, we got to, y'all let us speak at the first event out at SaaSpreneur, and a lot of people are, coming to our agency SaaS.io site. They see all the good things and how we've done our first year as SaaSpreneurs and be able to sign up well over 100 users.
Yeah.
But what they don't see is the other part of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. On that note, Shawn, I think it's important to share why SaaS matters so much right now for agencies, because here's what I know from data that we've seen. 76% of agencies will lose their clients within the first 90 days.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have white glove services or not. It doesn't matter how great of leads you're providing. It doesn't matter if TikTok, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Instagram. I don't care where your skill sets are. Maybe it's building funnels. We already know funnel building is already outdated. Like even business owners know how to do that. But at the end of the day, we know if you just provide services, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You're absolutely going to lose. High Level is the first company that ever came into the market and said, hey, listen, here are the 200-300 features. You have the freedom as an agency owner to take the combination of what you want, create your own packages in a subscription model, brand it yourself, and keep 100% of the revenue.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That hasn't been done before. We said you keep 100% of the revenue. You're not an affiliate.
Yeah.
Own your SaaS business. We just became the operating system behind it to power you. We just became your development partner. And matter of fact, you guys, this, Shawn, if you want something built out, we're going to probably go build it out in the system or improve it literally at a weekly basis, right? So I just wanted to just share why SaaS matters so much, because marketers are missing out on this opportunity.
Absolutely. 100%. And you're right on the numbers, because like the 3 years before we decided to go, like, let's go full tilt, with the SaaS, we were probably 90% agency, 10% SaaS. Now we flipped the switch on that about a year ago. 90% SaaS now, 10% agency. When we were just doing full time with the agency, we might have had, I think there's maybe 3 clients that did 12 months or longer when it was an
Yeah.
agency. I mean, it's like, you're right. I mean, 3 months, you're like, then trying to find the next one, no
Yeah.
matter how good you do. So I don't know who said this, that finally it clicked in my head early last year. Maybe somebody in the group, but somebody said that support is easier than fulfillment. And that's all I needed to hear.
Oh, that's
It
true.
was, that was my like light switch moment in my head, as it go, okay, because fulfillment, you can just, it's just ridiculous because we weren't the best organized full agency anyway. And we would always get out of scope, and then we're fulfillment, and then we would want to overdo it, and just gets out of hand. But at least the SaaS side of it, you can get it a little bit more controlled. Like now that we've got our full year in, Paulson, me and Javier have set this week and strategized about the upcoming speaking event I'm going to have, but about our support, our onboarding, everything, because, you know, we've been through, or I say we, Javier and the guys have been through probably 400 to 500 onboarding calls now. So after you do about 100 of those, you start learning what to do, what not to do, the
Yeah.
content you need to make,
Yeah.
the coaching classes you need to make.
Yeah.
So going through the trenches. So every, daily people message us or come to our agency SaaS.io site wanting information. And the thing is that you and I both, Paulson, could have everybody on for a full week, 8 hours a day, and try to explain what you need to do to have SaaS and run it. But until you get in it and go through the bad stuff, like, failed cards, people dropping off, and it happens, just realizing that, you can't just give it out and think that they're going to be able to use it. Cause I'm not the most techie guy in the world. I have problems with it. And I've been using it for 3 years. So how can you imagine that if somebody that's off the street, they see this rocket, they want it, they don't even know how to drive a rocket. So you got to be able to take them through those steps. So that's the bad for us, is that you have to get in the trenches, and you're going to get your teeth knocked in. But because of that, you're going to be able to learn, and you're going to be able to grow. And in our case, we haven't grown as fast as we've wanted to. Like, everybody wants to grow fast, but we're growing for sure. As Grant Cardone says, he doesn't want to get rich quick. He wants to get rich for sure.
Yeah.
We don't want to grow too quick. We want to grow for sure. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's the stage we're in right now, Paulson, is the for sure stage. So
Yeah.
that's why we continue to reach out to you guys. We try to get on all the calls that we can, participate in the group, because we've got such a great high level community.
Oh, yeah.
So based on that, let's let you talk a minute about, especially because a lot of people that might be watching this, is they're probably on the fence. Like, all of us were, like we were before we pulled the SaaS trigger,
Yeah.
so to
Yeah.
speak. Speak on that, of why they're still, like some people are, they're stuck with their marketing agency cap on, and they don't know how to take that off and put a SaaS cap on. Speak to that just a little bit. Maybe you can give some more clarity to everyone out there.
Yeah, 100%. So when you think like a software company, you're thinking about productization. When you think as a marketing agency, you're thinking about as like a service provider. Those are two different types of companies, two different mentalities. And the reason why we at High Level were continuously inviting agencies to become a productized solution provider is because once your systems are built out, you can forever duplicate structures and scale that way. You don't, and you're not dependent on talent and people actually, because the product is built, right? You're the only talent and people that you really need are the people that are building the relationship with your clients in some way, shape, or form. But you're not focused on the media buyers that may have a certain skill for Facebook ads to work, or you're not focused on videographers that are shooting the content for YouTube ads. You're not focused on funnel designers anymore. You're simply just looking at the operations of that client and that business and figuring out what can you automate that you can capture a subscription for. Now, let me ask you, whether you use Netflix or not, everybody's paying that $10 a month. What does a fulfillment look like for them? It's pretty simple. You got to stream it, make sure when you log in, it works. What's expected is there. and it's just there, like it's a housed system, right? There's nobody reaching out to you. There's no customer service. There's no like, interaction between account management and figuring out the budget for that month. All this, things that are not even sexy. It just so much work, and
Yeah.
only thing you're gonna do is make about $1,500 to $2,000 a month on average, and
Mhm.
that's not a lot of money, folks.
Mhm.
You'll make more with a $200 or a $300 SaaS because you'll have zero fulfillment, and you can do this at volume.
Mhm.
It's so much
Absolutely.
more stable of a business and a book of business that you can build with SaaS versus an agency. If you look at the mergers and acquisitions market, the brokership and flipping businesses and all of that, SaaS companies essentially have a 12 to 15 index you know flip when you actually try to sell it. Meaning, if you're selling a SaaS business that's doing like 100 grand a year,
Mhm.
you should be able to sell that if it's all stable for about 1.5, $1.3 million minimum, right? Because your stable your book of business is so stable. People know that those clients are going to stay there for years to come. But if you look at a marketing agency that's doing $100,000 a year, who's going to pay 1.5 million to get that? Not that many people. If they're smart, they wouldn't be doing that, because the agency book of business comes with a 76% or even almost 80% churn, meaning within the next 4 months after you purchase that damn thing, you're going to lose your client. So what do you have to do? You have to now create more sales pipeline, keep closing more deals. And
Mhm.
if you look at a lot of the agency coaches out there, who are the sexy guys and gals? The ones that teach you sales, not the folks that are teaching account management and project management operations. Why? Because it doesn't matter. You're going to have to go get new clients as soon as the last ones drop off, right? So
Right.
when you look at SaaS, it's an incredible opportunity for marketers because they have the technological savviness, they understand account management, and they all also understand, multiple aspects of the business. And I like to think the agency game is probably the best professional development course you can get.
Yeah, I think so. Because we started ours marketing agency was three years ago, just a couple months ago. So 3 years ago, I had come out of the loan industry of 8 years. In my last year there, I was business development, and I just kept working with so many agents and other colleagues that always had a problem with their marketing, their videos, and all of those things. And while I was a loan officer myself, my dream was to always have some kind of machine that you could stick a lead in and pop out a deal on the other end.
Yeah.
And then when high level come along, we realized is that, wait a minute, there's my machine. So, then I put everything together, business development, the marketing skills that Javier and the team has, and then this machine that you can spit in, nurture, pop out deals on the other end is like, all right, we put that all together. So, and like I said earlier, it's not like it's not easy, but in a sense, it's simple, because there were a lot of times within that first couple of months that we got started with SaaS, Paulson, that I wouldn't say we were going to give up, but it was like, man, this is tough. But
Yeah.
we kept grinding. Then I started an
Yeah.
affiliate program, and that's kind of something I'm going to start coaching on in a few months to people, how to try to successfully run an affiliate program, even with their white label, which is a big thing, because that affiliate program allowed us to get a shot at growing. And with the upcoming things that I shared with you before the show that we're going to do, that affiliate program is going to make it even better to get that growth. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how many out there can say this, but other than like some retargeting ads for people that visit our site, we technically really hadn't done ads that much, and we're getting ready to do that. So I can't imagine taking some fuel and pouring it on the fire with some
Yeah.
ads, but we just trying to get everything kind of in place. But man, making that move to SaaS, and like, if you're a full-blown agency right now, you're listening to this, you can get it and still ease into it. When you get it, you don't have to just say, hey, you give it up, because we didn't just throw away our clients when we started it. We
Yeah.
started and got a few clients over here, the true SaaS ones, And then we started implementing a couple of our clients from the marketing side, testing the waters there. And then it just, I go to that 90-10, this is 90, this is 10. And then over the past year, it did that.
It's reversed.
And then that's in my opinion, that was, of course, that's the way we did it. I'm not saying that's the right way, but that's the way we did it. And we're continuing to do it because now, and I think I told Chase this the other day, is that now what we've seen, Paulson, is that because of where we're at, signing up well over 100 users, we've had some good, some bad, the ugly, good experience, bad experiences. Guess what? Now we know how to, if we want to increase the marketing agency side again, we know how to do it better. And then, like you said, then there won't be that churn. So now if we decide to, because we're working with like another agency that we kind of push off some of those leads to, if we decide we're going to be able to craft it to where if we want to just deal with people at $2,000-$3,000 mark, we know we can keep them because then we know they're going to stick because of the system. So if they think of it that way, think of it as like if you take that SaaS leap, get some new business, start putting some of your clients in there and testing them, and just grow it from there. And then once you get to a point like we are, now we could turn it back on if we wanted to on the agency side, get that back up quick, and just the revenues would go out the roof. And that's what we're kind of planning.
So Shawn, one of the things that me, you, and Javier talked about, as well as others, especially on the SaaSpreneur Lunch and Learn we do every Wednesday, is what is keeping an agency owner at the fence about SaaS? Like, what's the actual issue there, and what's stopping them from jumping forward, right? And this is something that everybody kind of goes through. And here's a common thing that I find. I mean, I talk to on average about 1,800 to 2,200 agency owners every year. Same thing with Shawn and Chase. Like, we're all on Zoom calls literally every single day talking to agency owners and helping them move forward with this question. And every single time when it comes to SaaS, it's not that they don't understand the SaaS model. Most people understand the benefits of the SaaS model, but they just don't know what to do about it. Like, they don't know what product, what industry, what's the offer, what's the pricing, all this random stuff that actually doesn't matter. Because when I look at your story, Shawn, you guys jumped into a small beta and started going through the trenches without a lot of things in place because you're starting to study your customers and understand what they're doing. How are they using system? Can you speak on that beta that you guys did? And I remember you having to peel it back and relaunch and all these different things because you started learning more about those users and what your product combination is. Because I think that's the big thing that holds people back from jumping into SaaS. It's, what product do I launch and how do I launch it? Should I do a beta?
Yeah. And so the thing is like, first of all, you've got control of it because it is yours. You can do what you want with it. Nobody ever recommends just giving everything away all the time. But there is a point, just like with anything, I call it the free 99 model, is we picked like three industries. They were different industries too. Okay. That's the key. Pick 3 industries, even if it's something you don't really know a lot in, because you're about to find out if you give those out. So give 3 out if you're starting. In return, and your return is a video testimonial. After like 30, 60 days, input for sure. You want true input, good, bad, or ugly. Tell them, say, look, you can't make me mad, whatever. I need true input. And then and you're having conversations with them every week. As you go along, because we get it. We were there too, because and we still go through this, Paulson, that sometimes we're almost like, feel like we're afraid to have an offer that's just 4 features, web chat, Google chat, or web chat, Google chat, 2-way text, emails, whatever, and thinking, oh my God, nobody would ever pay $297 for those or whatever. So we all overthink things, and we got stuck in that because we do a lot with what we've got our offer out there. But going back to those 3, you will get so much information having 3 people on that, and don't look at it like, well, I'm not making any money. Well, you weren't making any money anyway with this SaaS. So start with a 3. And, since this is more like agency based and only people will see this, is that if you have to, on some of them, go in there and, scale up the tax cost or something, or the email cost if you want to try to supplement and make, $20. But that's petty stuff to me. I don't worry about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just say do it. At the end of the day, if you feel like you don't want to use our SaaS mode and run it all yourself, go for it, scale it, and then you're going to end up wanting to get pro anyway, because you're not
yeah.
all the subscriptions and cancellations.
Yeah,
and
you're not going to be able to deal with it unless you get the pro model. And one thing I'll add too, Paulson, with that is that once you get that feedback from those 3, you're going to realize real quick what you need to do. And then on the 3 as well, that's a chance to get 2 to 3 onboarding calls for each one of those. I would recommend having 3 or even more if you need to, because you're really learning how do I talk to somebody that knows nothing about this system? How can I get their, Facebooks, DMs, phone numbers, everything hooked, get a kind of explain a little bit enough in there. And then eventually, once you get all this now to where we're at, Paulson, we've got, video libraries down in the resources, live chat 7 days a week. We have a once a week live Zoom, kind of a coaching call, if you will. People come and ask questions. So you'll escalate what you do. But like Paulson said, you just got to start it. If you can get 3 to 5 people in there, and even if you're messing up, it doesn't matter, because they don't really know.
Yeah.
It's like you always know more than they do, because you have the system and you've played around with it. As long as you're one step ahead of them. I heard one of the girls you had on your workshop this past week was talking about that. She even told them that, hey, I'm only a day ahead of you guys, so just bear with me. It's okay to tell people that you're giving it to them for free.
Yeah.
Right. Just for the feedback. So once you get them going, you get all your information, start doing those onboarding calls, make your list, and then just get out there. Like I said, we didn't even run ads. It's no surprise and secret that we fell into that niche, but we did have some really good customer service like we do today. So if anybody ever gets anything from us when they have a conversation with us on the phone, chat, at a conference or whatever, one thing that Javier knows how I am, because I'm very strict about it, is that we are customer service oriented. And that is a one big factor I feel like that has helped us get to where we're at a year later, and keep at least a good portion of the people that have come on, because we want to give world-class support, kind of like Chick-fil-A. I told somebody on a call yesterday, it's like, think about if you're in the South, if you've ever been to Chick-fil-A, then you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's my pleasure between every person across the entire company. Like, as soon as you're done with the transaction, they all say my pleasure.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the mentality. It's more of one is the scripting that they train, but the other is like there's a mentality and a culture. And on that note, culture to me is a whole lot bigger than what people think when it comes to software. And I know that because Lead Dragon has a culture around it already, right?
Yes.
SaaS.io guys. I mean, you guys all have, even the students that you guys are bringing in, there is some commonalities among them, and they're top dogs in their own right, and they're creating this energy together. And same thing with high levelers, right? We're creating this energy together. SaaSpreneurs, same thing. And when you start focusing on the culture itself will turn around and give you the best feedback to rebuild your products, recreate your offers, to enhance your business in so many different ways. And when you do launch an affiliate program, it just goes on its own, especially the culture behind it. But it's a really big, important component that people miss out on. They just think it's just product.
Me personally, Paulson, I think it's especially your first year in it, it's one of the most important parts, because I don't know if it was you that said this a while back, but like in agencies, a lot of people will leave, even if there's even if you're giving them good leads and business. quicker than if you're not communicating. Like if you're communicating, even though they're getting not so many good leads and whatever, because the people like to be communicated with and talked to. So that goes along like with this. So let me give you a quick example of the Chick-fil-A, because I'm thinking about the one here in town. Is it, especially in the South, if I go to Chick-fil-A here in a little bit to get something to eat, I'm not even going to have to, like most places, I'm not going to have to wait till I get all the way to the window to start and do anything like most of them do. They're just like, okay, next, next. They've got people now here in the
Walking in
South
the
walking
driveway.
all the way out the line and say, hey, what's your name, sir? Paulson. Okay, cool. What would you like today?
Yeah.
And then they take your pay. They've got you set so that you're already good to go, even though you might have to only, 3 or 4 more minutes to get to the front. And like you said, then my pleasure. So my point to all this is that get ahead of them. Don't wait for them. Getting ahead is having a support library with videos, having a fast track course like we've got, having a live chat 7 days a week, having master classes recorded, having a weekly call if you can ever get to that, doing things that keep them so informed and so touched that even on the months they're like, you know what, that 297, I could probably do without having that payment. But then all of a sudden they get a newsletter from us about, hey, you want to increase your open rates by 10% and make more money, click here. Then they'll go like, well, I'll wait 1 more month. And then you get them engaged, because not
Yeah.
everybody, if you've got let's say you got 1,000 users, there's always going to be that 80-20 rule. There's going to be a good chunk of them that are not using it the way they should.
Yeah.
So you just got to be overly,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, supportive, like with that kind of the Chick-fil-A style. Get
I
ahead
think,
of them and check them out.
yeah. Yeah, I think, well, I knew this about you, Shawn, is your staple is customer service in any business. Like that's one
Mhm.
of the most important core pillars you have as as a friend. And honestly, that's what built High Level. It's the ability for us to be able to jump on a Zoom with any agency owner, regardless of where they are, and help them with their business apart from the platform. And this allowed us to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And that sets us apart compared to anything else on the planet. It's the relationships you build. Like it's so
Correct.
crazy to me, Shawn. There's like hundreds of people that are on our 497 SaaS Pro plan that hasn't launched, but they want to be there because they want to show up to all the educational events we have, jump on the Zoom sessions that we would spend time with them, and also collaborate with SaaSpreneurs like yourself. They
Yeah.
want the camaraderie as they launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get it.
they don't even log in. They show up to the Facebook groups instead until they have their products. So don't underestimate the power of relationships, the culture you're building, and the customer service pillar that you're building. Because your products, I promise you, I don't care where you are in SaaS, your products are not going to be as good as you want them to be, especially in the beginning. You're going to make that market fit product as you learn your customer over time. So the only thing you could control is the relationship,
Correct. That's it. It
right?
really is.
You can't even control price. Why? Because you have to actually compete in the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only thing you can actually control is the customer service and being proactive. And that's something I really think Lead Dragon has done a phenomenal job with in general.
Yeah. We took the adage of like, just make a decision and then you'll figure it out. We do that with a lot of stuff. As everybody might think that we're like, oh man, these guys have got it figured out. They're organized. I'm the most unorganized guy you can imagine. There's certain things about me, like things that I'm just chop, chop, chop about. But when it comes to business in general, because I've been like a business development guy probably for, 30 years, if you will. And I'm so used to like doing things on the fly, as they call it, or off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hurt me in some ways, but that's how I operate, and that's where my energy comes from. But
Yeah.
because of that, I don't slow down to have the organ. That's why Javier is so crucial in that aspect, and a couple other people. But guys, just make a decision. You'll figure it out. You can't. The last thing I'll leave you with is that I heard a guy say this: go as far as you can see, and then you'll be able to see a little further. That's where we're at. Like, here we are a year ago. there is no way I would have known that I would, on this day, I would be sitting here with Paulson over at High Level doing this, talking about the journey. But it took me from going, 12 months ago to go as far as I can go, which is right here. And now just in the past few weeks with you and Chase and Shawn that I've been sharing some time with, I can see a little bit further.
Yeah.
And that's where we're headed. So we know that it's possible. You
Yeah.
told me at the conference, I remember this one-on-one, you said, now that you guys have signed up over 100 users, getting to 1,000 is going to be easier. And I'm like, I hope so, because it's tough getting to 100.
Well,
So
it is because, you confirm an offer, and at that point you have enough proof in the pudding of the effectiveness of that offer. And then it's comfortable for you to now launch an affiliate program. So all of a sudden your sales game is just horizontal instead of just you by yourself attacking the market, right?
correct.
Because of that, getting to 1,000 users, I don't think it's that hard. It's really hard to get to 100 users.
Yeah, it really, I promise you it is. And like you just said, I've had several people say, well, do you have any salespeople on your team? I said, yep, right here in my paper, my affiliates,
Yeah.
my affiliates. This is my affiliate payout sheet. Today,
Yeah.
because tomorrow's the payout day, I'm texting my affiliates, and
Yeah.
trust me, when you start paying people, they will answer your phone.
Yeah.
So
And wait till we at High Level make it even easier. We're working on a affiliate management program to be built into the system, right? So with
absolutely,
fast mode, you might even have the ability to manage some of those things. And that's because just like you, we're listening, we're paying attention to our customers. Shawn, I really do appreciate you having me. Anything else that I can kind of just bring clarity to?
man, I think you kind of covered a lot of it there. We went back and forth on a lot of stuff. I appreciate
Yeah.
that you've been on the show because, like you just said a while ago, there's so many people out there that may have the regular version of High Level, they may have the SaaS version, and they're still just sitting out there on the sidelines. It's like, no, you got to get in the game. Even if you get your teeth knocked out and your mouthpiece flies out, it's okay. Get back up, because that's where we're at. Like, we're not, we're not the Tom Brady and the Buccaneers over here. Although we're trying to shoot for that level kind of thing. We're out here though playing them, right? We're
Yeah.
playing the Tom Brady's,
Yeah.
and we're learning, and it just takes step by step. So, like I said, guys, make sure it just go as far as you can see, and then you'll be able to see a little bit further.
I
And
love that.
Paulson, man, I appreciate you being on the call today. So,
Yeah.
guys, stay tuned. I'll have Paulson back again, hopefully here in a couple months, and he'll have some more updates. But until next time, guys, we'll have another special guest coming up next week. But until then, go kill it, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Appreciate you, Shawn. Take care.